Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, February 2nd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to the watch list, real quick, just want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you're liking what you see as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, then there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click on. So just keep that in mind. And if you're liking what you see, then definitely get signed up for the free class. One quick note before we get to all the stocks, the market is still open for a little bit, so you're not crazy, but the price you see over here is still changing, and it will be changing just because I like to do these videos when the market's still open for a little bit of time, because sometimes we can capture some really interesting and entertaining late day action. But as far as what I talk about, the market's close enough to being done for the day where everything I talk about will be relevant here as we head into Wednesday. But first one here, QQQ, which is the exchange traded fund, the ETF for the NASDAQ. And as I'm sure you're well aware at this point, things have gotten pretty volatile, but we're at a very, very interesting location now from a technical point of view, because you can see the price is sitting right there at that pink line, and that pink line on my chart denotes the very famous, the very well-known 200-day moving average. That's one of those areas where even if you have a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you use the 200-day. I'm sure you've at least heard of it. So point being, people around the world are going to be watching that level and wondering, okay, very, very impressive bounce. There's no doubt about that. From there all the way up to where it's bounced. But is the bounce going to be strong enough to actually get back up above that 200 period moving average, or the bear is going to show back up and press the price back downwards? So that is the big question moving forward. And again, this is not some sort of great discovery on my part. I assure you, people that use charts are going to be wondering about the NASDAQ. And okay, yeah, good bounce, but is it strong enough? Is there genuine power to be able to get back up above and stay above that 200-day moving average? So the next few days are going to be very interesting in that regard. So we'll see what happens with it. Now, another quick clarification, I am now using the 30-minute time frame and will be for the remainder of the charts. So in the first chart, we were just looking at each one of these candlesticks as they're called represent 1 day's worth of time, but now each one is representing 30 minutes worth of time. So next one here, ticker symbol AMC. And, good news and bad news. The good news is that the price did finally get up through this trend line here, which I talked about previously as a resistance. So there was a breakout that occurred. So price gapped up, came down, a classic example of that resistance trend line, then acting as support, and back up it went. But the bad news is that after getting rejected here, a pretty big pullback. Now, I don't say bad news in the sense of the entire chart's destroyed, because that's just not true at all. In fact, just the easiest way to illustrate this, let's just look at where the lows were from today, which are right there. Then you look at where the lows were from yesterday, the lows right there, and then the low right there. And if you envision each one of these as stair steps, then from a big picture point of view, everything is still perfectly fine. Now, there is a little bit of perspective that goes into this. I understand that if you're a day trader and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well, then yeah, from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. However, assuming you do care about a bigger picture point of view, even with the bigger pullback today after that rejection at that pink line, which you now know is the 200 period moving average, disappointing, sure, not the greatest action, but assuming you care about, like I said, the big picture point of view, everything is still fine because the price is still building those higher bases. But needless to say, yes, moving forward, that pink line there, 200 period, which is currently valued at $18.30, will be that main battleground to watch from a resistance side of things. So overall, a decent day, but could have been better. But at the end of the day, at least the price is still chipping away and building those higher stair steps. Next one, XELA, and what a monster movement today. This will mean a bit more to those who have watched past videos, but if you did, hopefully you remember me talking about that red line right there as resistance, and you can see that the price got the break of it right there, and then it was just off to the races and really never looked back. So overall, fantastic breakout here, and definitely I'm sure this set off a lot of radars on the day, so I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people watching it moving forward. But one of the newest areas of support to watch moving forward, if there is any sort of pullback, so if you consider yourself some sort of pullback player, right there at 75 cents is a very interesting level. But to to squeeze things down and now look at next potential areas of resistance. So I realize the chart is a little bit harder to see, but that's always a good problem when you have to go back this far into a chart's history. But next key area of resistance, right up here at, let's see, what is that? The about 87-cent mark, which is essentially where it got rejected from today. But with this amount of momentum, I want to definitely map out one more area just in case 87 gets broken. So after 87, next key level is at 94. But overall, absolutely monster move. Fantastic price movement. And you can see right here the nice increase in volume. So after a bit of a pullback here, it seems as though plenty of eyeballs are right back on this one. So the week is young, still 3 days left. So let's see how this one continues to play out. Next one, BFRI, and I like this one. Yeah, the big volume, yeah, the price movement, but there's also just a very well-defined pattern. And when you have a lot of people watching the same patterns, wondering the same thing relative to the pattern, yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy, whatever you want to call it, it can definitely produce some, dynamic movements. So no, nothing is guaranteed, but is it valid to think about this in the way that, we will here? Absolutely. So the first level here that I think a whole lot of, pattern players, breakout players, whatever you want to call them, will be paying attention to is right up here at 435. You can see that generally speaking, this level here has knocked down the price several times before. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it more than plausible. It makes it a logical thought that if the price can come up to that area and get the break up through it, that break in and of itself could create quite a bit of upside buying pressure. And then as far as supports are concerned, there is this trend line right there. So let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of things. And then to make this all the same color, we have our resistance here. We have our support here. We have the momentum move right here. Let's put our golf hole down here to make it more visual. And this is what would be known as a bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play bull pennants down and around this price range, then I definitely have this one on your watch list. Next one, NIO. Overall, a good day. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just do some house cleaning and get rid of that line from a previous video I did. Nothing major has happened. Now, I don't mean that in a bearish sense, but nothing major. And, a valid question would be, okay, Clay, well, what is your definition of something major? And that would be the price getting up above that red line right there, which I talked about in previous videos. But you can see the power of charts. Once again, this, 25, 15-ish dollar area has been presenting problems. The good news here is that the price is well within striking distance. So that doesn't mean that it's going to, break above it, but it does go back to the whole idea of, well, is it at least plausible to think that way? Is it a logical thought that the price could be getting ready to break up through that area? Absolutely. Very close. So it's not that much of a stretch to think that it could break up through that level. And if it does, then the next key overarching area of resistance would be that pink line there, the 200 period, currently valid up around, we'll call it 26.85. As far as areas of support are concerned, in the very near term, key level to watch right there at, let's use that 2350. Then if 2350 can't hold, you do have that 50 period moving average down there at 2275. But all in all, like I said, not a super exciting day, but it's healthy. It's maintaining those bases, not just a question of can it push up through that initial area of resistance at 2515. Let's see what happens. Next one, PLTR, very, very nice day, and house cleaning needs to be done. Let me get rid of that line there. And the big update that needs to be done is finally this area here around 1350 has been broken as resistance. It's been a very stubborn level, and a foundational rule in charting states that when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, they tend to act as support. I mean, check this out. You can't make this stuff up. Price gapped up, broke that level, pulled back. Look right where the price bounced from. Again, are charts perfect? No, you can't say that. But are they a tool that's worth learning? Absolutely. And here's a classic example of that. So price came down there and then has bounced very nicely, which now puts it within range of that 200 period moving average, which is definitely going to be that next key level of resistance, currently up there at $14.50. So nice movement here, $13.50, that newest level of support. $14.50, that new key level of resistance. But all in all, like with AMC, when you look at where these lows have been, these lows keep getting higher and higher. You envision those as stair steps, and that's the name of the game. So let's see if the price can now push up and get above that 200 period moving average at $14.50. Next one, ticker symbol BBIG, and starting to come back to life again. And I shouldn't really say starting. It's been back to life, but it just continues to build upon itself because you look right here, and I mean, to give credit's due, this thing has already been trending upwards. So, to say start, probably not my best choice of words there. Point here being, it is trending upwards, and now it's definitely within a key area. So let's go back to, kind of that whole talking point of self-fulfilling prophecy. And we have that here at $3.60. Generally speaking, you can see was an annoying spot, rejected the price. And then even today, once again, rejected the price. So while that does not guarantee anything, it makes it definitely more than plausible to think that if the price can finally get up to 360 and push up through it, that break in and of itself could very well create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. And in my mind, that's the main and most important and most interesting dynamic about this setup is how it's up at such a well-defined level. So 360, I think everybody and their brother's uncle is going to be watching this level. So we'll see if the price can get up through it. And if it can, is that going to generate another surge of momentum? Only time will tell. But if you like to play this price range, if you like to play breakouts, then I definitely have this one on your watch list. Next one, ARVL, and talked about this idea previously, but goes back to the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies, and just a beautiful pattern on this one. Nothing fancy at all in terms of the pattern, but that's good, right? When things are not complicated, that means just a lot of people are watching it. So as far as this pattern is concerned, I assure you a bunch of people have drawn that trend line right there, so that's going to be the main breakout point. There's, I'm sure another group of people, which rightfully so, have drawn that area as far as support. So we'll change that to green. And then just to keep this all the same color, we have our resistance there. We have our support there. We have our momentum move right there. Let's put our little golf ball down here, and we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. So if you like to play stocks that are down below $5, if you like to play bull pennant patterns, then this is another one of those where you got to think that a lot of people are out there watching, wondering, how does this pattern play out? So like I said, if this is something that fits in your strategy, well, then here you go. Next one here, SNDL. So for those of you that like to play penny stocks, I like this one because it goes back to that whole theme of self-fulfilling prophecies. And this is another one where, again, I assure you a bunch of people have drawn that trend line. And then also a bunch of people are going to be watching that, which you now know is the 200 period moving average, and wondering about this, let's just call it a bit of a resistance zone. Because what you don't want to do is, if the price breaks that trend line, say, okay, yes, beautiful, clear skies. Well, no, it's not clear skies, because not that far away, you have the 200 period moving average. But generally speaking, if the price can clear up through that level and that 200 period moving average, once again, while that doesn't guarantee anything, it does make it more than plausible to think that that could really create another surge of momentum and allow the price to move that much further. And you got to like how things are shaping up. You look at just how things have been going over the past several days, and these lows keep getting higher and higher. So from that angle of things, nice progress on the bulls part. But now the $1 million question moving forward is, can it get up through that trend line and that 200 period moving average? But if it can, then it's very, very plausible to think that the price could gain a whole nother surge of momentum. So if you like to play penny stocks, then I'd definitely be keeping an eye on this one. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And assuming you watched the previous day's video, nothing really happened from the overarching standpoint. Price is still struggling with that level of resistance, but to be fair, the price did stay up above that area of support. So just kind of a choppy day in between this little sideways channel here, and maybe that's what's going to go, happen over the next few days on Tesla. You have the top of the channel up there around 940. You have the bottom of the channel down there around 912. And it's really just a question to wait and see which way does it want to move with authority. What do I mean with authority? Well, being able to actually stay above the level. Case in point, this morning, yeah, the price did break down below that green line, but it didn't stay down below it. There was no authority, and back up it went. And then you can see the price actually did get up above that red line, but again, no authority. The price was not able to stay above it. Back down it went. So I'm not saying that these levels can't necessarily be broken, but are they being broken with authority? As of now, they are not. So you're going to want to keep that in mind too. So from that angle of things, nothing new to really report. Although you got to consider that there's probably just going to be that many more people that are watching these price levels, because now the price has formed, that much more data within these levels. So from the self-fulfilling prophecy, dynamic of things, it gets that much more interesting. But overall, as far as Tesla is concerned, 940 main area of resistance, top of that little channel, and then 914-ish right around there, going to be the bottom of that channel down at support. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, and if you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used, how it should be used to build consistency as a trader, then get signed up for the free class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format and you would like for me to continue to make these videos, run the scans, put the watch list together, then please let me know with some very basic feedback. Smash that like button and then leave a simple comment below, even if it's just saying hi. Give me an emoji. Tell me what you're trading tomorrow. Tell me what you traded today. Any of those things. But hitting the like button, leaving a simple comment, communicate to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to do them. And again, if you want to learn more about the tool of technical analysis and how it can be used to build consistency as a trader, why it's so powerful, then definitely get signed up for the free class on Thursday. Everybody take care. Have a good one.